Hello, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. I'm a big fan of Kiss looms. I greatly enjoy mine, and I am cooperating with Kelly at Kiss Looms to make you a playlist of all the basic techniques that you might ever want to know on all of the looms. So welcome and enjoy. This is the Kiss EFG-0 loom. It's the finest one that they make. It is meant for knitting with #1 yarns, very fine ones, and you can knit things like this sock with it, making a very tight fabric. Let's do some casting on. It's going to be a little bit different from other Kiss looms because we don't have pins to deal with. We're going to start with the E-wrap cast on, which begins, as most of them do, with a tiny loop knotted into the yarn. Pop it on one end peg, and I'm going to show it to you on the opposite side of the loom so you can see why it's called the E-wrap. I'm making the cursive letter E with my yarn. E, 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 and it's looping around. You want the smooth side of that loop always on the outside and the X's on the inside. Now, personally, I think the E-wrap is easier to accomplish on the near side of the loom. And I'm showing you that second because it requires that we make our letter E's backwards. No big deal. Still the same thing. We're just dealing with the reversal of the position of the loom. There is no rule that says you must cast on in this direction. If you are more comfortable with it, cast on in the opposite direction. I will tell you that when you get to knitting in a circle, for most right-handed hookers, it's easier to cast on and to knit in the direction I'm now working, from right to left, or you could view it as clockwise. And for most left-handed workers, the opposite is true. Now let's knit the first row from the E-wrap. You have a choice here. You can wrap this final peg again and knit it over. I'm going to hook this first row over one stitch at a time. If you will look at my knit stitch video for this loom, you will see that there's another way to make the knit stitch that's faster, but it doesn't work as well on the very first row. And after we finish going across like this, we are basically done and on with the rest of the knitting can occur. About this first peg, I could have just wrapped it and done my first stitch on the second peg. And depending on what you're doing, you may want to do either one of them. Both make an acceptable cast on. So this is the E-wrap cast on. And after this, we can knit and purl as we wish. Even if I am starting with ribbing, if I'm using the E-wrap cast on, I would normally do all knit stitches the first row. It's just easier, and I don't find it makes a great deal of difference.